Just a few things happening around here. Such an exciting morning already. That's because we all know it's not raining today. So, oh my God. I don't know about where you guys are out there, but those of us here, we are just like, let the sun shine. We remember what it looks like. We remember what it's going to feel like. That's right. Just let it shine. All right. I'm Reverend Debbie O'Donnell, and it is my absolute pleasure to be able to preside this morning with such a lovely people in the house. So, with that being said, I am going to invite our very own Claire to come on up and sing us in.
And as usual, you don't get away that easily, because you have to sing too. And the theme for this month, yeah, that might be a little loud, is all good in the neighborhood. So I thought Fred Rogers would be the perfect guy when it comes to neighborhoods. So we're going to sing Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And if you'd never watched Fred, well, here we go. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? It's a neighborly day in the beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please, won't you be my neighbor?
Thank you as always, Claire. So appreciate it. So, this center is based on the truth that there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can consciously use it, which allows us to have a mission to teach, demonstrate, and inspire that positive spiritual approach to living. And I want to thank each and every one of you here and out there for joining us in this beautiful neighborhood. And we're gonna move on, since you're already tuned up, to a group reading. So those of you at home, just either follow us or join us. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. I am ready to be a transformative light in the world. And now, let us have a little opening space, shall we? If you would just be so kind as to close your eyes or not, and let us just breathe in the love that's in this room, this neighbors. Let's just breathe that in and allow our hearts to open. Because what I know is true is that there is one power, one presence, one divine intelligence, and it is that one that is always pressing to express with, through, and as each of us individualized. So as we open our hearts, we allow that expression to come through. We allow ourselves just to be fully present for the music, for the message, for each other. Because this is all about each and every one of us. So it is. All right, we're going to invite Kevin to come up for the Flames of Faith. which I've been doing for more than a decade and I don't have memorized. Isn't that odd? It's not that long. Yeah, there you go. So we know that there are many paths to the one, and there's just one. So this is our way of honoring some of the more familiar paths to the one with music. No, not really. You don't want me to sing. Oh, okay. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. And we light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. Thank you, Kevin. And now I invite all of us just to recognize that spark within, that place of peace and joy and pureness and total awareness of how holy and blessed we really are. That flame of new thought. Okay, thank you all. And now I'm going to invite Jeff to come up for an inspirational reading.
Good morning. This morning we've learned that you don't want to be the candle lighter when you have brand new candles. or pre-light them. Today's reading is a Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me into the very dirt. Still, like dust I rise. You upset you? Why are you best with gloom? Because I walk, I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like the moon and the suns, with the certainty of the tides, just like the springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't take it awfully hard, because I laugh that I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air I rise. One of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up in the past, rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear the tide. Leaving behind the nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into the daybreak that's wonderfully clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise.
Every little bit makes me so sure. With every breath it will endure, and all the places in between. There's always something I can see. every moment so complete. In each breath, in every heartbeat, and all the places in between, there's always something I can see. In all the faces, all the places, everything we do and see, it comes and goes, hides and shows. Now I know it goes with me, it's all I see. There's always something, always something. There's always something, always something. In all the places, all the faces, everything we do and see, it comes and goes, hides and shows. Now I know it goes with me, it's all I see. And every little bit makes me so sure, with every breath it will endure, in all the places in between.
Okay, now it's time for the main event. Reverend Joanne. Whoa.
Thank you. Am I good? All right. Well, thank you for being here. Good to see everybody this morning. You know, this month we've been talking about, as Claire said, all is good in the neighborhood. And last week, Reverend Debbie talked about don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff, okay? And today we're talking about keep on keeping on, and that's what Jeff was reading about, the words from Maya Angelou. Just, you know, when we're down, still I rise. It's a story about this young woman, and she was having some challenges in her life. She really needed some support and some comfort. And so who did she go to? She went to her dad. She goes to her dad and she says, "Dad, I'm having these real challenges, and I would like you to help me with this." And it turns out her dad is a chef, and he doesn't say much, but he takes her into the kitchen with him. He doesn't say much, but he puts 3 pots of water on the burners, and if you've heard this one before, don't stop me. And in the first pot, he puts some carrots, some real strong, healthy-looking carrots, drops them in the pot. Second pot, he puts eggs. And the third pot, he puts some coffee beans. He just lets them go for about 20 minutes. And she's like, "Oh, boy, Dad came to you for advice, and what do you do when you're cooking carrots? I don't know." So they let them cook for a while, and then after a while, he turned the burners off, and he had some bowls, and he took those carrots out, and he took a ladle and put the carrots in a bowl. He took the eggs out, put those in a bowl, and then poured the coffee into a cup. And he said to her, "Well, what do you see?" She said, "Well, I see carrots and eggs and coffee." "Come on, Dad, I need a little support. Where's this support coming from?" And he said, "Well, go a little closer to those carrots and go ahead and take a bite of those carrots." So he goes over, takes a bite. Yeah, they're awful. They're inedible. They're mushy and yucky. And he said, same thing with eggs. Go see how those eggs are. Well, she unpeeled that egg, and it's harder than a rock, just inedible. And she goes over to the cup of coffee, takes a sip, and she says, that's great. It's a nice, rich coffee. And she's still like, but Dad, where am I getting this support and guidance from you that I came for? She's getting a little annoyed. She says, it's a very interesting experiment, but let's get to the good stuff here. And he explained to her that all these things, the carrots and the eggs and the coffee, they face the same severe adversity, this boiling water underneath them. And yet each one reacted differently. Of course, the carrots that were strong and, very healthy looking, they come out all mush. And the eggs, which were soft, of course, inside, turned out harder than a rock. And yet the coffee turned out very good. And he said that when adversity knocks at your door, how do you respond? Do you turn to mush? Does all your strength just go away and do you turn to mush? Or do you get tough? Do you get harder than a rock? Or do you do like the coffee did? And that was, the coffee kept its own stuff. The coffee changed the water. And this was his advice to her, that when adversity comes, be true to yourself. Know that power within you is always there for you. You don't have to become mushy, or you don't have to become tough. You can be richer. You can change the environment around you by going through this change in your life. So that was his advice to her. So today we're going to be talking about trying to be more like that coffee bean, where rather than becoming mushy or becoming too tough, we change the world around us by the richness. And I think that poem was really exemplified. When we get knocked down, still I rise. In our spiritual growth, it doesn't happen overnight. That's kind of the key to this. We know we take it step by step. It's gradual. It builds over time. And sometimes this growth involves challenges, it involves problems, and sometimes it involves pain. And sometimes the thing we react most to is the pain. I've had a little talk with God from time to time about this, saying, I'm willing now to learn a little bit with just a nudge. You don't have to hit me with the 2x4 anymore, I promise. I'm going to really pay attention. But pain, sometimes that pain is what it takes in our life for us to pay attention and make some changes. So this morning I'm going to share 3 ideas around this idea of our spiritual growth and how it grows gradually over a period of time. The first is that wherever we stop is where we end up. If you just give up, that's the end of the game. That's it. Over. But really successful people, that's not what they do. They may run up into a barrier, but they don't stop. They keep on going. And we certainly know this from our visits to our prison circles. We listen to these guys in these prison circles, and so often they say, I thought being arrested and being in prison was the worst thing in my life. And I found out it's the best thing in my life. It's what I needed. I'm making some changes in my life. If I didn't come here, I'd probably be dead by now, or certainly just going on to a life that is not an enviable one. It's a very poor life. So we know this to be true, that people who get an opportunity, and that's the second thing that we're going to talk about here today. Everything that happens, every experience we have in our life is an opportunity. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is just the importance to know that our good is at hand. The importance to remember that power within. The importance to remember we're not alone. So the first one we're going to talk about is this idea of not giving up. And that word give up is not in the vocabulary of successful people. And it's kind of fun to reiterate some of these people that we all know who ran into some big obstacles on their way. Take Woody Allen, you know, big producer. He's just a great director. Lots of wonderful, whether you like the movies or not. My late husband used to like the Woody Allen movies. He says, I like that Jewish angst. And he could do it better than anybody. But he flunked his motion picture production class at New York University. But you know, did he say, well, obviously that's not what I'm good at, I better go do something else? No, he didn't. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to continue to work at it, and obviously he did. Lucille Ball, when she was studying to be an actress, she was told by the head instructor of her drama school, try another profession, any profession. He saw no possibilities in her whatsoever. You know, and can you imagine if she would have walked out and thought, well, you know, here's a professional. You know, he's seen a lot of people. He knows what's good. I'm not good. I'm going to go home and whatever. Let Desi beat up on me. I don't know. But she didn't. You know, she tried. She rised again. Then there's a story about this Universal Pictures. There was an executive who dismissed both Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds on the same day. He told Burt Reynolds, you know, you got no talent. Out of here. He told Clint Eastwood, yeah, you might be a good-looking guy with a little talent, but with that Adam's apple, you're never going to make it in the movies. And so the two of them are outside in the parking lot, and Burt Reynolds says to Clint Eastwood, you know, he says, I can't act. Well, I can take acting lessons, but what are you going to do about that Adam's apple? And then there's Malcolm Forbes, who, of course, was the editor of Forbes magazine, and he failed to make the staff of the school newspaper when he was an undergraduate. Not your bag. That's not what you're good at. No, you know, a lot of people, you know, when we're in our younger days, we're kind of suspect. We're like, well, we don't have a lot of confidence, and somebody tells us you're no good at something, and we get these rejections. We believe it. We react to it. But in these situations, these people didn't buy into it, and they went on and they tried again. It was and the Beatles too. They went to this recording company early on in their as they started this little group, and they were told by we don't like that sound, and we think that guitar groups are really on their way out. Now, you know, wouldn't you think these young boys, they'd say, oh yeah, let's try something else for a while. You know, this ain't gonna work. No, they just thought they don't necessarily, they're not the end all with us. We're going to keep trying. And then there was a woman named Wilma Rudolph. She was the 20th of 22 children. When she was born, they didn't know if she was going to make it. She really struggled. And when she was 4 years old, she got double pneumonia and she got scarlet fever. And as a result of that, she got paralyzed in her left leg, and she had to walk with a brace. That's the only way she could walk. When she was 9 years old, she took that brace off. And when she was 13, she said, you know, I think I'm going to be a racer. I think I'm going to run some races. So she enters into a race and, of course, comes in dead last. She enters into another race, dead last, dead last. And people are saying, you know, Wilma, this isn't your bag. You know, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. Find something else. But no, she kept trying. Finally, she actually won a race. She kept racing. She won another race, won another race. And at the end, this little girl who was told she was never really going to walk, she won 3 Olympic medals. How easy it would have been to give up, not rise again. And Thomas Edison, we all know the story. 2,000 times he tried to make this light bulb, get this light bulb going. Didn't work. And people asked him about this failure. How did you feel about how many times you failed? He said, I didn't fail. I invented the light bulb. It took 2,000 steps. Some people are tenacious, and we all can have that tenacity. We can all say to ourselves, I'm not doing this alone. I got a power within, and we can use that. An affirmation has to do with persistence and determination. It says, I'm not discouraged, I'm persistent. I move forward into my highest good. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence and determination. With God's help, I move into my highest good. So that's the first key, this idea that we never quit, that we keep on keeping on. And the second one, of course, is this idea about every opportunity is a wake-up call for us. I mentioned about the prisoners, how some of them really recognize this is a wake-up call for me. It can change my life. It can be a good thing for me. Now, I had a wake-up call this week, again. My wake-up calls tend to happen around technology. I wanted to watch Presumed Innocent. You know, the book, then there was a movie, then there's another movie, and it's on Apple Plus. I get Apple Plus. I pay $9.99 a month for it. So I watched the first segment, and I noticed it said on there, the first one is free. I'm thinking, well, they should all be free. I pay $9.99 for this thing. And I hesitate to dial these numbers for these people because I get angry. And so finally I thought, well, if I want to watch this thing, which I did, I better pick up the phone and say, why do I have to pay for this, or am I reading this wrong, or what's going on? Well, who are you going to talk to? Nobody. Nobody. You talk to these, it's a chat. You can chat. And you're chatting with a robot who has these 2 hours. I'm on the phone chatting. And I finally kind of figure out that they're telling me I have an old email. It's garybwald@comcast.net. Well, Gary's been dead 5 years, and a few years after he died, somebody called me and said, it's illegal for you to have that with his name on it, so that's closing down. Who did this? I don't know. But, I'd forget about it, but it's on some of this stuff. And so now all of a sudden, second series of Presumed Innocent, all of a sudden, that's not a good email for me. So, and then these robots are telling me, okay, now I'm going to give these 6 steps, and you do this, you do this, you do this. And I'm trying to do it. But then they say, well, use your Gmail email. And I'm thinking, I thought I did have a Gmail. Where is it? I don't know. I don't know how to find it. And finally, I told the little robot, I said, I got to see you in the morning. I can't do this anymore tonight. But when I went to bed that night, and this is very frustrating, and I'm not saying I don't slam a few things and say a few bad words. And I remember who I am. I'm not going to go down that slippery slope and let it ruin any more of my life than that 2 hours where I was. So I go to bed, and I actually do this. I don't know who did. This is the other thing. This is the big thing. While I'm on the phone with this robot, there's this other thing that pops up and says, well, you're going to have to pay $1 for something or other. I'm thinking, well, it's part of the process. It's a part of the process of them stealing my cash card. So before I went to bed that night, I got a note from Wells Fargo. Well, not a note, but we actually talked on the phone. And they said, somebody has stolen your cash card, and now we're going to close that cash card. So now I've got all this money coming out of my checking account to pay for this, that reoccurring stuff you get. And so they sent me a list of people that are on that. Well, I've tried calling a few of those people. Same thing, you can't talk to them. I have no idea, so I'm just going to wait till they come and arrest me and just say, here's my new number. I don't know what else to do. So, and I feel like I have handled it in a little bit different way than I have in the past. I didn't lose any sleep over it. Yes, that was a good thing. No sleep. Didn't lose any sleep over it. And I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to rectify this thing, but I'm not fretting over it. I know everything will turn out as it's supposed to be. But I think we all get these lessons, and until we get over these, till we go through them, till we face them, they keep landing. Do you ever do that? There's a certain personality. You get over one, you move away, you move across the country, and there's a guy sitting across the desk from you again. Same personality, same problems. So until we learn to deal with these things, they will give us opportunities. So we can learn and we can grow. And as we practice this idea of learning, we'll learn how to produce harmony versus conflict. And every experience that we run into, we'll recognize as a way to move up, a wake-up call for us. So, number one, we don't stop, we don't give up. Number two, let's use these experiences as wake-up calls. And number three is just to remember there is good at hand. Good is there for us. The universe is for us. And this is to remember. And remember, we're not alone. That essence that created everything there is the essence within us. We're not alone. Our good is at hand. There's a guy that writes an article in our Science of Mind magazine, Jesse Jennings. He writes this Q&A, question and answer. Do you know him? Yeah, it's an interesting article, and he says this. He says that even when the outcome isn't quite there yet, we can know it's forming. Doesn't that remind you of my favorite quote? Despite appearances, there's something moving in the unseen for my greater good, even when we don't see it. The same is true of, like trees. The trees look like they're dead in the winter. There's stuff going on underneath. They're growing. That's when they do their growth. And it can be said the same thing of us in winter. When we have the winters that we aren't out doing so many activities, but we're inside. We're maybe doing some introspection work. We're maybe doing some meditation and practicing silence. Something is happening within us. We're growing and we're getting better and better. If you plant a bamboo seed, you don't see anything, nothing, for 5 years. I mean, think about that, 5 years. I mean, I don't think I'd think it was dead. But then after 5 years, the thing comes up, and within 6 weeks, it grows 90 feet. That's how the message is that when we plant our seed, when we set our intention, not to expect something right now, just know there's something moving in the unseen for our greater good. And we can know that that growth is happening for us. It's happening gradually, step by step. And when we remember that that power is within us, nothing can steal our joy. We can lean on that. We can know it even before we start seeing the manifestations of our prayers. Ernest Holmes tells us in Science of Mind textbook, he says, when we separate ourselves from the divine fire, we become an isolated spark. We are strong only when united with life. As soon as our consciousness is detached from spiritual wholeness, we can no longer draw from that inexhaustible reservoir of eternal existence. So we become exhausted. When we're trying to do it by ourselves, we become exhausted. There's nothing to fall back upon. Life is one perfect wholeness. The universe is one unit. God is one. It is impossible for us to feel separated from Spirit without feeling want and lost. That subtle something which runs through all things, that life without which nothing can live, that power without which nothing can move, that Spirit without nothing can be, is God. It is only as we live in conscious union with Spirit and consciously let it work through us that we really live. So that's Holmes' idea about this. So the idea is just to keep on keeping on, never give up, wake up to that greater awareness when we have an experience. Let's use it as an opportunity to grow. And let's always remember, God, our good is at hand because God is within. All things are possible. So I would like to invite you to get comfortable where you are, and I'd like to close with a spiritual mind treatment around these words that I've just shared with you. I know there is but one power in the universe, and that power is the power that has the perfect solution to any perceived dilemma in life. It is peace and love and joy, balance, order. It's all good. And it's that same power that created everything and everyone that experiences life through its creation, through me, through each person, through all creation. And even though there are times when I meet adversity, and I'm like that carrot, I get all soggy and mushy when there's a problem, or else I become like that egg and I got to get tough, hard. Even though there are times like that, I set an intention now to be more like the coffee, to be true to myself, not change me, but change the world around me. And I remember that my spiritual growth is gradual. It doesn't happen in one fell swoop. It's gradual. It unfolds over time. I'm encouraged by those words of Maya Angelou, "Still I rise." And I don't stop, just like Wilma Rudolph or Edison. I remember every experience is a wake-up call that I can use to grow in my spirituality, even when these problems include technology. However frustrating things seem. And I remember that even when I don't see anything happening, that my good is at hand. I trust that unseen is working for me. My good is at hand. And I'm grateful for the law. Grateful that this is the way the universe is set up to work. We plant these seeds and it is done unto us as we believe. I set this intention, my good is at hand. So I release these words now to that beneficent conspiracy for perfect manifestation, and so it is.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Reeds drifting by, you know how I day and a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossoms in the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, new day, new life for me. And I'm feeling good, feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't ya? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. The old world is a bold world and a new world for me. And I'm feeling good. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, new day, new life for me. New dawn, new day, new life for me. New dawn, new day, new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Are we all feeling really good right about now? Yeah. Thank you both. I appreciate it. And Claire brought a guest here today.
Yes. I brought my brother, Fritz, all the way from California.
Yeah, and he's happy to be in the sun too because they've got June gloom happening. So it's all here. Okay, now is our time for conscious giving. That giving that we do from our hearts, knowing that we are so blessed to be able to give. We are so blessed to be able to gratefully receive, and we know it goes out, comes back, just pouring over. So if you would just take your offering either in your hand or in your heart, because a lot of us do this electronically these days, not Joanne, but everybody else. And let us just say thank you. Just thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I'm so grateful. I am so blessed.
We are grateful for the gifts and we are grateful for the givers. We're just grateful all around for this community and this incredible thing called life, right? So for announcements, I'm going to ask Anthony to come up. He's got a couple of announcements happening in his world.
Thank you, Reverend Joanne. Excuse me. So my exhibit is still going on for Pride for another week, and then it will switch over. A week after that will be a new exhibit, which will be, again, retrospective of my late husband's work. Information is up front. I'm still selling Pride bracelets for $4 to help, fund this exhibit series. So your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
And in July, to get a gathering together for lunch and then walk by the display, which is Town Square. Thank you. Thank you. In St. Paul. I also have a wonderful announcement, and Reverend Joan, I apologize for not letting you know this ahead of time, but Dustin and Charlie are coming back to Minneapolis. Dustin has accepted a job to open up a store. Don't know the store, don't know where it's at, don't know anything. Charlie's going to remain, practitioner Charlie is going to remain in North Carolina for a period of time with his mom. And when the time is right, he will be moving back here as well. And between now and then, he will be visiting. So the last Sunday of July, practitioner Charlie Brown will be presiding here. And we're going to celebrate him somehow. Maybe we'll do a little barbecue at the O'Donnell Birdhouse. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But how's that for great news? Yes. So, and they watch us on Sundays. So, hi, guys. We're excited. Congratulations, Dustin. So that's the big news we've got for this center. And if you haven't met practitioner Charlie, you will get a chance to, and it'll be great. And with that, I think we're going to pray out, bless out, sing out, and D. Ray's got some wonderful bread over there for us to break into and put some coffee with it. Unless there's any other announcements. Oh, there's one, right? This is a community filled with some great spiritual energy, and we also have some wonderful spiritual practitioners that are here to assist you in any way possible. So if there's anything you would like prayer work for, around, or through, just let us know. We've got practitioner Joan, we've got practitioner Colleen, we've got Jeff and Celeste and Sue and Leif and D. Ray. We got it. This house is packed. So if there's any work you want to be done, just reach out to one of us today, or you can fill out a prayer request at this table, or you can fill out a request online. And also, if there's anything that you would like this community in total to hold for you, please send an email to info@cslminneapolis.org, and we will include it in our weekly newsletter. And that's my last pitch of the day. Guaranteed. All right. So let's close ourselves out, shall we, with some good breath work. Let us just once again breathe in and notice how the energy in this room has changed, how that vibration is just filled with love. In this moment, I just remember that this ground is holy because we are standing on it. Wherever we go, we are on holy ground because we know who and whose we are, that divine expression of the one. I give thanks for this knowledge. I give thanks for this opportunity to just be connected with each other. And I just say thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is.
And I will leave you with this blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.
So we're going to close out with a little bit of Bill Withers, Lovely Day. And the refrain, if you're not going to do the verses, if you just want to repeat, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, you just keep on rolling, and okay? I know you'll know it once we get started.
My eyes, something without warning bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be, here we go, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, and someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. And I wake up in the morning, the sunlight hurts my eyes. Something without warning bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, a lovely day. Lovely day, lovely day.